from Great American Ballpark in downtown Cincinnati, Comcast Sportsnet brings you Chicago Cubs baseball. Cubs and Reds opening up a weekend series. The Cubs 2-2 to start this NL Central trip. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. 1990 World Series champion Reds are going to honor them this weekend, so throwback uniforms. But it's the Cubs youth movement that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, we talk a lot about numbers in baseball, and perhaps the most important number to focus on with the Cubs is the ages of some of these young, talented players. We take a look at Rizzo, Soler, Brian Castro, Addison Russell, just 21 years of age. All four of these guys swinging the bats well this year, and all five of those players, including Addison Russell, under team control through at least 2020.
And the pitching matchup tonight and all of the matchups this weekend mirror what we saw at Wrigley Field last week when the Cubs won 2 of 3. John Lester, Mike Leake tonight.
Yeah, John Lester still trying to get his season going, essentially. Got knocked around by the Reds last time he faced them. Gave up 3 in the first, 3 more in the 6th. 10 hit, 6 runs allowed by Lester. Mike Leake, 7-0 in this ballpark are the Reds when he's the starting pitcher. He's 5-0 in those games with a 2.01 earned run average.
But he cannot get out Chris Coughlin. The Cubs left fielder is 8 for 8 against Leake in his career. And yes, he's in the lineup tonight. Dexter Fowler back in center as well. Cubs and Reds are coming up next.
With AT&T, call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford, check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Great American Ballpark as we get you set for Cubs baseball tonight. And if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Benny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish. A throwback night, 1990 uniforms, as the Reds honor their 25th anniversary of their World Series championship under Lou Piniella. And the Cubs with that all-star patch as Wrigley Field hosted the Midsummer Classic in that summer of 1990. As you look at the Cubs Southwest starting lineup, I will read it to you. In center field, leading off, Jerome Walton. Batting second and right is Dwight Smith. Batting third at first, Mark Grace. Third base, Luis Salazar will clean up. In left, it's Lloyd McClendon. Shortstop, Sean Dunston. The catcher is Joe Girardi. The pitcher, Mike Malecki. And playing second base, he'll be a Hall of Famer someday, Ryan Sandberg.
Let's take a look at the Reds defensively, and I didn't do any homework. We got Paul O'Neill, we got Barry Larkin, we got Eric Davis, we got Chris Spuds McKenzie Sabo, Ronnie Oster perhaps. How about Glenn Bragg? We'll throw him out there, put Joe Oliver behind the plate.
Sounds good.
We'll put Tommy Browning on the mound. But it's our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher, Mike Leake, instead. And just to clarify what I mentioned in the open, Leake's numbers here against the Cubs in this ballpark, 5-0 with a 2.01 ERA. So Mike Leake, this ballpark against the Cubs, has been a winning combination for the Reds.
Your umpires, Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, Diaz, Guccione, and Blazer around the bases. Or we could have gone with Bruce Fremming, Frank Pulley, Steve Ripley, and Gary Darling, keeping the theme. And here we go. Leake to Fowler, and a strike called on a sinking fastball to get us started.
Leake throws a lot of strikes, works quickly. Good athlete, holds runners, defends his position well. Doesn't strike many out.
3 straight fastballs, and he likes to work quickly. He pitched in the Sunday night game in St. Louis, a complete game, 8 innings, and a loss 2-1 at St. Louis, called strike 3. Took just 2 hours, 2 minutes.
Well, that particular at bat didn't take very long either. And a combination of cut fastballs and sinking fastballs gets the job done for Leake. Fowler back in action after that groin tweak.
There's Jorge Soler. Solid start to this season. He was a third baseman growing up, never did pitch. I asked him today via Franklin Font as he drives that ball not far enough. Right center, caught by Billy Hamilton. If he did pitch, how hard would he throw? And Miguel Montero busted in and said, 88. And he laughed. He said, no, I'd hit the 90s for sure.
Yeah, probably, right?
I'd like his chances to throw pretty hard. But he'll keep his day job, which is manning right field. Now Anthony Rizzo. On base 24 of his last 47 trips to the plate. As I look around the diamond, nobody has really gotten into the spirit of the 1990 uniform, which would have been way tighter than everybody wears the uniform these days.
Yeah, it was before the baggy movement kicked in.
Yeah. Time called. And if this were truly 1990, we'd be playing on artificial turf next door at Riverfront. On the ground and picked up The multiple gold glover, Brandon Phillips. And the Cubs go down quietly. The Reds are coming up when we return. Read it. Eric Davis will lead it off in center field. Todd Benzinger will play first. You see his numbers. Third baseman Chris Sabo, followed by Mariano Duncan in the cleanup spot. How about that? Paul O'Neill is in right. Billy Hatcher in left. Joe Oliver, the catcher. Barry Larkin, he's pretty good at short. Tom Browning, the pitcher.
Todd Benzinger, good one. And for the 2015 Cubs, Coghlan, Fowler, Soler in the outfield. Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo on the infield. David Ross behind the plate. And Alexis, pursuing perfection, starting pitcher for the Cubs tonight, is Mr. John Lester. He's made 3 starts. 0-2 with a 689. Better last time out. Stuff looked better. Results were better. Still not where he wants to be. And tonight perhaps will be the night as he makes his first ever start here at the Great American Ballpark.
And ball one on Billy Hamilton. The Cubs have stolen 16 bases, trailing only these Reds. They've stolen 17, more than half by Billy Hamilton. He's 9 out of 10. And with John Lester's issues throwing over to first base, it would behoove him to not let Hamilton even reach. The 2-0 is in there for a strike.
Yeah, so when you fall behind in the count, obviously you just have to give in and throw it over the heart of the plate as he did there on 2-0. Hamilton could turn a walk into a triple pretty quickly with a couple of stolen bases.
Back in it, it's 2-2. Lester has worked with David Ross every start. And a base hit into center. It's interesting, JD. John Lester, when he's down early with his fastball, that usually means good things. However, with Billy Hamilton, that's probably where you don't want to be sometimes.
Yeah, and this fastball just not bad. Sits over the middle of the plate. It's down, but over the heart of the plate. Lester's out pitch, his go-to pitch is that cut fastball, and he likes to do one of two things with it with a right-handed hitter. Get it in on the hands and get weak contact there, or go back door with it. Fastball, cutter, curveball, and change for Lester. And here we go, game on already with Hamilton aboard. He's measuring a pretty aggressive lead.
There he goes. And not even a throw from Ross. Number 10 for Hamilton.
And the Reds started as a team 17 out of 17. Hamilton got caught for the first time in the ballgame yesterday by Martin Maldonado of the Brewers. So, and I think if you're John Lester, you know, obviously you have to pay some attention to Hamilton, but the biggest issue would be those marginal guys. Don't let them steal bases on you. Hamilton steals on just about everybody. Oh boy, he's jumpy out there. He's got everybody focusing on him. A good secondary lead and aggressive break had Chris Bryant breaking to the base at third. That's one of the challenges for the infielders. You got to hold your ground. You don't want to give up your position. Don't be influenced by Hamilton dancing around out there.
What a start for Votto. Tied for the National League lead with his 6 home runs, and that one gets away from Ross.
David didn't really move his feet. He reached for that ball, and I got a feeling his eyes were squarely on Billy Hamilton, too. Part of the reason why he wasn't able to knock that ball down or reach out and play it on a short hop. This guy is sudden impact.
It's a strike on Votto. Thought it was ball 4. Votto wearing the old school stirrups.
Wow.
Hamilton racing down the line. I think somebody, you could hear him yell at Lester to step off.
Yeah. Bryant's going to tighten up a little bit just to keep him closer to home.
Strike 2 as Votto is ready to take another walk.
Well, Votto, he's got a keen eye. That one just off the outside corner. Lester got a little bit of a break.
The kick and the pitch. And the Reds will grab the lead as Votto bounces out to short for his 15th RBI, and it's 1-0, 2 batters in.
Votto's taken a lot of criticism over the years for his unwillingness to go outside of the strike zone to try to drive runs in, but he's back to being Joey Votto. He's not only taking his walks, he's hitting for power. Appears to be primed to have a big year.
So 1 out, nobody on, and Todd Frazier looks at ball 1. Fouled out of play. So they will be honoring the 90 World Series champs all weekend. Tomorrow's the big day, and we hope to avoid the rain. The Reds went wire to wire under Lou Piniella, although it was considered an upset when they swept the A's in the World Series.
Well, they had that nasty boys bullpen. Dibble, Myers, and Charlton. Ouch! Riggs! He lost a step.
Former Cub manager Jim Riggleman.
Apparently not paying attention to the spray charts. He knows he's got to play a little step deeper there with Frazier up.
Full count, 3-2 with Brandon Phillips on deck. Now the lineups, by the way, I read were the respective teams' opening day starting lineup. Lest I forgot anybody, that's how I did it. As Frazier's on his way to second, and he's got a double.
And John started against the Reds, which was 2 starts ago for him. It was early trouble. They put a 3-spot on the board, a lot of hard contact in the first inning against Lester. And Reds up to it again here tonight. You see where Ross is set up well off the outside part of the plate, and that cutter again down, but sitting over the middle of the plate. So he gets on top of it a little better and get some depth to it and kind of cradle the outside corner or elevate it in on the hands of the right-handed hitters is ideally where I think he wants to go. He's just not executing that pitch right now.
Phillips went 7 for 11 at Wrigley Field in that series last week. Cubs took 2 of 3. And a strike called. A little low. 62 degrees, fairly comfortable. They cool off a bit tomorrow.
Who do you think the happiest person in the ballpark is?
The happiest person
in the ballpark.
In the ballpark right now?
Yep.
I'm pretty happy, but there's a pitch, and Phillips couldn't hold up.
Jorge Soler. He did not look like he was having a lot of fun in Pittsburgh in that
Good
cold
call.
weather.
Yeah, 62 feels probably like 90.
Yeah. Well, there's a good plan B right there. If the cutter's not quite where you want it, mix in a few more curveballs.
The 1-2 is a strike. 93 on the inside.
Well, that's the other thing the curveball does for you, too. It just slows the hitter's bat down a little bit. He has to become aware of an off-speed pitch, and he throws a perfect dart here over the inside corner at 93.
So 2 outs, and it's Jay Bruce. Swing and a miss. Jay Bruce has a little twitch. Takes the top hand off the bat. Kind of adjusting his sleeves as he gets ready to hit. He'll do it before every pitch, right?
Yeah, a little tug, a little flap.
He probably at this point doesn't even realize that he's doing it.
Making sure he keeps 1 foot in the batter's box so he's not in violation of the new pace of play rules.
1-1. Popped him up. Third base side. Bryant is over at the railing, and it's back out of play. Boy, big crowd tonight.
Fireworks after the ball game. I believe a ceremony to honor that 1990 club just prior to the fireworks. Fans here to pay homage to that team, and kind of curious as to what they think about the 2015 Cincinnati Reds. It's an interesting team. They've got a lot of veterans with great resumes coming off a tough year. Is this a team in decline, or was last year an aberration?
Swing and a miss, strike 3. The Reds do get a run. 2 strikeouts for Lester, 1 zip after an inning. What a thriller last night. Game 4 coverage begins at 4 p.m. right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Joe Madden having a chat with the crew chief and home plate umpire Jeff Nelson. 1-0 Cincinnati. '23-year-old Chris Bryant back at his normal defensive spot, third base tonight. Filled in center for Dexter Fowler yesterday.
Looking for his first long ball, just missed a couple of swings in that 4-game set in Pittsburgh. This is a good home run park. The ball really jumps here. See out there, right and right center, and that's his stroke.
Leaks 2-0, swung on and missed. Mentioned in the open, Leak has never lost to the Cubs in this ballpark. He's 5-0. The Reds are 7-0 in his starts at home against the Cubs. The bat goes flying over the Cubs dugout, and unfortunately a fan got hit by that helicoptering bat, and I hope he's all right. It appeared as though he got hit on the handle end and not the barrel. So that's the silver lining.
Yeah, and kind of reaching for his mouth like he's got hit in the lip perhaps. Yeah, right there. Came up and got him on the cheek.
So 2-2 on Bryant. Leak coming back, and a high pop up on the infield. Bottle makes the catch.
The Leak start against the Cubs back at Wrigley. He worked 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 4 runs. A couple of long balls. Soler got him. Coghlan got him.
Coghlan always gets him though.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch to see if Leak comes up with a plan B here.
Chris is 8 out of 8. 3 doubles and a home run off Leak. Elias reporting there's no other active player 8 for 8 or better against an active pitcher. 3 of those hits, including a home run, were hit last week.
That's one of those numbers, if you're Chris Coghlan, you might be aware of it, but if you're not, you don't want to be told it, because then you start to think, well, clearly that's got to end.
Leak knows it. He was asked about it after his last start against the Cubs. Thought he had him right there. 1-2.
Borderline high.
Broken bat flare right field, and for the first time Leak does retire Coghlan as he flies to Jay Bruce.
Cub fans, the Cubs return to action at Wrigley Field this Monday. 3-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, followed by 3 with the Milwaukee Brewers. Tickets are still available for every game. Get your tickets at Cubs.com.
Now Starlin Castro, 2 outs. Nobody on. The first 5 retired in order by Leak. Castro red hot, 6-game hitting streak during which he has 12 hits and 7 of his 11 RBIs. Low and outside. Is in for a strike. The 1990 championship, one of 5 world titles for the Cincinnati Reds. Previously, they won back-to-back in 75, 76. That was a big red machine. The last World Series title before 1975 was in 1940. They were in the World Series in 1970.
Beat by Baltimore.
See, 5 All-Stars were part of the NL team at Wrigley Field in 1990. Billy Hatcher, the Reds' first base coach, a big part of that team, had a huge World Series against the A's. Couple of bounces to Phillips and Leake. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings to start it tonight. 1-0 Reds early. Sportsnet brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. You can reach Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Patrick off this weekend, so you can follow Tony Andracki at Tony Andracki 23, and he'll have all your Cubs news and notes on CSNChicago.com. Happy 28th birthday to Cubs catcher Wellington Castillo as he and Miguel Montero look on from the bench. JD, there are 6 catchers in the ballpark tonight on active rosters. The Reds have 3 because Devin Mesoraco can't actually catch. He can only pinch hit.
And have they used him?
What's that?
They haven't used him as a pinch hitter, have they?
Once in the last couple weeks. Marlon Byrd off to a frigid start, but he homered yesterday in Milwaukee. And he's got a single in his first at bat tonight.
Yeah, I know, because they have to be contemplating DLing Mesoraco, and if they use him again, then obviously they will not have the ability to backdate him.
Yeah, he pinch hit Tuesday.
Okay. He's got a little hip impingement, which could be a big, big problem for a catcher.
But you're right, that pinch hit appearance kind of messes up the idea of putting him on the DL. If they did it today without that appearance, he'd be almost 2 weeks in, I think.
Yeah. So that means this man right here, Brian Pena, gets the lion's share of the catching duties. Switch hitter, better from the other side of the plate. You see him there attempting to put down a bunt.
He's a switch hitter. And he's 8 out of 20 against John Lester in his career. Cubs 8-7, 2.5 behind the 10-4 Cardinals. Reds are 8-8. Called strike 3.
That well-placed backdoor cutter this time from Lester. He got 2 strikeouts then in the first, both with fastballs. And that's the one I'm talking about, that backdoor one with some depth that sits on the outside corner. Nice pitch.
Now Zach Cozart, who is known more for his glove than his bat, but off to a great start. He hit a couple of homers the other night in a game at Milwaukee. He's got 4 on the season. One and one. As a team, the Reds only hitting .221, second to last in the National League. Lester, the Cubs' big offseason free agent signing. 6 years, $155 million, plus an option year. 6'4", 240. He's 31 years old. Basically the first decade of his career, almost 9 years of it as a Boston Red Sox pitcher. When he got traded to Oakland, he admitted last year, or in the offseason when he signed with the Cubs, that was an eye-opener for him. And might be a big reason why he signed with somebody other than the Red Sox. You get in your comfort zone when you're in one place for a long time and you don't see the idea of, could I actually be in another uniform? Then he got traded, and it's like, yeah, I can do it.
Kind of embrace the journey, as they say. Bigger lead here for Bird. Daring him to throw over.
Yeah, he is. Can't believe he didn't run. Fouled back.
Well, we saw it a little bit in the San Diego game against Lester. Base runners, you know they're told in meetings that Lester has an issue with throwing to first base. And they'll measure pretty good leads, but they just have a hard time committing to it. They don't want to be the guy who gets picked off. And that's all it would take for John to nail one guy, and the rest of the league would take notice.
Now the pitcher is on deck, but it's Mike Leake, and he can hit. Cozart swings and misses. 2 outs.
And good early signs from Lester here tonight. Good fastballs in the first. The cutter to Pena, now a changeup down to get Cozart.
Toss, Bird back.
Trying to tighten up that lead a little bit.
This time Riggs got out of the way. Nice grab by a Cub fan. And the Mr. Cub. Okay. Yep. That's a new thing. Good job, Cincinnati Reds. They honored Ernie Banks before the game at a moment of silence before the national anthem. Nice touch.
Yeah, they did that in Denver too when we were there. They could give you a tough AB. It was so far this year 69 hits since the start of the 2010 season, most of any major league pitcher.
He pops it up. Rizzo just into the grass of the outfield to end the inning. 1-0 Reds after 2.
Day, Friday, May 1st, 121st pitch. Brewers are in town. And if you're one of the first 10,000 fans at the ballpark, you're going to receive a Wrigley Field football from the good folks at Wintrust Community Bank. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Reading CBS Sports John Heyman's column today, a little item about Mike Leake. He's going to be a free agent after this season, and reportedly somewhat hurt that the Reds haven't talked about an extension with Leake. Johnny Cueto's final year of his deal as well. Ross with a ground ball back to Leake. One away. Cubs missing Johnny Cueto again.
Homer Bailey as well. Bailey was hurt in the first go around, but he's back in the rotation now. Cubs will not see him.
Here's Lester 0 for 5 to start the season. And still searching for that first major league hit.
He's got the best stroke of a 0 for 41 hitter I've ever seen.
It's high praise. You are not one to be hyperbolic, so.
Well, I saw we talked about it at the Cubs convention, kind of joked about it, the fact that he didn't have any hits yet in his career, and looked at the numbers. So you just figure he's going to swing, well, frankly, kind of like me. But he's got a legitimate swing, and so I think he's going to be okay. I'm not going to set the world on fire or anything, but I think he's going to help himself a little bit.
Two and two with young Addison Russell on deck. Ball, strike 3.
It'll come. 8 up, 8 down for Leake, who continues his good work against the Cubs.
Russell in the 4th game of his young career. out to dinner with some of his teammates last night. David Ross reporting that he is as old as Addison Russell's dad. David's 38. I asked Addison, how old's your dad? He said, 38, 39. So David said, I'm more like an uncle, though. More avuncular than I am paternal with these guys.
And that's kind of his role in that clubhouse.
Yeah.
You know, he's been around a long time, highly respected. That'd be a good nickname for him, the uncle.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. Mike Leake grooving here early on. Category. Just show this video.
Yeah, the one-man rally. Billy Hamilton, if he gets on base, things are going to happen. He starts with a single up the middle, steals second. David Ross not able to handle that wayward pitch from John Lester. He gets to third, and how much fun is it to hit with Hamilton on base? A little ground ball up the middle, and Votto's got an RBI.
The second time through for Lester. Cornermen pinched in, as they pretty much always will do against Hamilton. Fowler coming in. He's got to play it on a bounce. So Billy Hamilton is 2 for 2. And both times leading off an inning.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton, you know, normally on a ball like that, you tell an outfielder, don't leave your feet, because if it gets by you, it's going to be extra bases. But when it's Hamilton, it's kind of like extra bases already once he reaches first. We'll see if the Cubs are able to shut him down. But he's just a pest.
Well, it's kind of the worst of all worlds here for Lester, too, because he's got Votto to deal with at the plate, which takes a lot of attention. Hamilton not running, and strike called.
And so, the best game plan for Lester here, I think, is just to vary his delivery times to home. He did a good job there. Hold it a long time, try to lock him up.
Runner goes, the throw. Safe.
And that time he went quickly, and Hamilton with a pretty good read. Not the same jump he had the first time. You know, everything has to be just right. Throw has to be right on the money.
Did you notice it looked like Hamilton's hand actually went to the foot of Castro, but then I think he got his hand in on the bag on the second try. Right there. That's a nice job there, Starlin. And they almost got him as a result.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, that head first slide, he's already had some hand issues, has Hamilton, but that's the way he prefers to go.
Well, right now, this is feeling like the sequel to the first inning. Single to center. A steal of second.
Yeah, and I think Lester's going to go out there and excuse me, Ross, and tell John, hey, let's not worry too much about it. It's a dangerous hitter in the box. Otto hits the ball to all fields, doesn't hit the ball on the ground to the left side very often. So that allows Castro to shade up the middle and try to keep Hamilton honest a little bit. A lot of times a base runner will read the pitcher, who will look and then look to home and then go. Sometimes it's best just not even look at him. Don't give him that timing mechanism.
Just as you mentioned. Yeah, I think John does a good job of varying things, and that's why teams didn't run that much against him last year.
And sometimes when you hold the ball for a long time, it's tough to make a quality pitch because you get out of rhythm a little bit. Sometimes look back there once, sometimes look back twice, as he did last time. Don't look back at all. Look at the daylight.
Swing and a miss. So he was able to get Votto, even with his attention somewhat divided. Now Frazier. And I have to, not only is the pitcher a little distracted, the hitter has to be a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes the hitter will tell the guy, look, either go or don't go. But when you're dancing around out there, and I'm wondering whether they're going to come home or not, or go back to second base, yeah, it can be a little disconcerting for the hitter. And this is where it makes, baseball sense to steal third base with one out, more so than with nobody. So I suspect he's going here pretty soon.
Jeff Nelson just said something to David Ross. Not sure what that was. There he goes. Inside, throw to third. Safe. That's how fast Hamilton is. Ross did everything possible to get him and still couldn't. 3 steals already tonight.
And the one thing that didn't happen is John didn't make him stop. He didn't stop his momentum out there, and I don't know if there's anything he could have done that would have made him stop, because I think Hamilton is daring him to throw to the bases. And you're right, Ross got off a very quick, accurate throw. Hamilton beat it.
Curve, and Frazier held up, so it's 2-0. Infield back, and I think Joe's thought here, JD, is even if you're playing in on contact, you're probably going to have a hard time getting Hamilton.
Right. And so if you do pull your infield in, you open up some holes for Frazier. Still early in the ball game in a hitter's park, so you feel like you should be able to put some runs on the board.
Two and 1 the count on Frazier, an all-star last year. A 3-1 with Phillips on deck. Base open here. Did not give him a fastball. It was a changeup for ball 4. Brandon Phillips, one of the best defenders in the game and one of the smartest as well. Yesterday in Milwaukee, heads up play in the 4th inning, 1st and 2nd. Little soft liner that he actually let drop, and they turned that into a 4-6-3 double play. Chris Davis did not hustle out of the box because he assumed that ball was going to be caught by Phillips. The base runner at first cannot really go. He's assuming that ball is going to be caught. No infield fly rule because it wasn't hit hard enough. That is a really smart play by a veteran guy.
Perfect storm of events there. Perfect ball for Phillips to pull that off on. And Chris Davis, for all you young baseball players out there, you got to run it out. Especially when your team is 2-13 as they were at the time. That doesn't go over well with the manager.
No. One-all, runner going from first, and that's going to buy the Reds a run as they stay out of the double play. A couple of RBI groundouts after Hamilton found his way to third base following a leadoff single. So it's 2-0 Cincy.
And Price starts the base runner, stays out of the double play. Only option is first for Castro. And how many RBI opportunities are there going to be for Frazier, Phillips, and Bruce, with Hamilton at the top of the order, and Votto was constantly on base batting second.
Well, that's the challenge for Hamilton, is to get on base more often. And even with the 2 for 2 tonight, his on base is .318. Votto .453. That's really it for Hamilton, because we know about the speed. If he finds a way to get on base more often, that's exactly the kind of leadoff hitter you want.
Yeah, and his walk rate is up. He's not hitting for average, but he's walking a little bit. He's hitting the ball on the ground a little bit more often this year than he did last.
I mean, if he plays 150 games and ends up with a .360 on base percentage, he'll steal 100.
What do you steal? What, he steal 140 something in the minor leagues 1 year?
One ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Hamilton in 2012, 155 stolen bases. In 132 games.
Yeah. And in a minor league season, that's unbelievable.
Well, his on base was .410. That's a big, big part of it. Because JD, you can't steal first.
I've heard that.
2-2 on Bruce.
If he steals 150 in the big leagues, they'll be writing songs about him. The legend of Billy Hamilton. Yep. Got Bruce with a high fastball last time. Bruce strikes out a lot. Better than 30% of his plate appearances this year have ended in a punch out.
Lined to Russell. Put it right to him. Reds add to their lead. 2-0 after 3 now.
zip. The newborn fan club is the perfect gift to showcase what it means to be a Cub for life. Receive a customized photo of the Wrigley Field marquee, a Cubs birth certificate, baby stocking cap, and a Rookie of the Year onesie. Visit Cubs.com/kids today.
Mike Leake perfect through 3. Top of the order, Dexter Fowler did not play yesterday in Pittsburgh due to right groin tightness suffered the night before. And he's back in there tonight. Took a called strike 3 to open the ball game. There's a pitch driven out in the left center. Cubs first hit could be extra bases. On his way to second, standing with a double.
You see a lot of this from Fowler, keeping his hands inside the baseball, hitting it the other way. He's carving this one towards the alley in left center. Looked like he was running pretty good, so hopefully that groin issue is behind him. I guess it'd be more of a glute if it was behind him.
Well said. Or a hammy.
And he's got a little more than that, but looked like he was running pretty free and easy.
Pitch to Soler is low and outside. Soler and Castro both hitting their first career home run in this ballpark. Jorge did it last year, Castro in 2010. Both in their first at bat.
That's what happens when you go 9 up, 9 down to start the game. You forget what you're using for an indicator with a man on second base.
Soler's homer was off Matt Latos on August the 27th, 2014. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Close but missed. 2-0.
Leake has command of all of his pitches here tonight. He's shown an unwillingness to give in, so don't be surprised to see anything from him here on 2-0.
We chronicled the Cubs' struggles against the Pirates here in the last couple of years. Same goes for these Reds. Even though the Cubs won that series last week, they're 30-61 since 2010 versus Cincinnati. Trying to change that narrative this year. And again, with the unbalanced schedule, that's hugely important. You referenced it. The Cubs have not been good against their own division. They have not been over 500 against the NL Central since 2009. Gets away. Fowler will advance on the swing and miss. The pitch getting away from Pena.
Well, that's a wicked curveball. Tight spin on that ball. Pena got a little lazy there trying to glove it as opposed to block it. It's a wild pitch, and now Fowler standing at third base with nobody out, and another meeting at the mound. That's the deal here. They're having a hard time getting it all sorted out.
Brian Price in the news earlier this week. So a little meteor rant in Milwaukee the other night. Used a bad word 77 times. And as the story writes, 10 more variants of other vulgarities.
Well, and that's just one example here. Here we are in April, and we got managers going off. We got brawls. We got people throwing at each other's heads.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. One away. Well, last night got pretty ugly in Chicago. The Royals involved in another fracas. There were some hit batters earlier in the game. Adam Eaton bounced back to Yordano Ventura, who started yelling at Eaton. Bench is cleared, and a lot of pushing and shoving. Chris Sale in the middle of it. Jeff Samardzija as well. Chris Sale reportedly tried to get into the Royals clubhouse a little later. So the White Sox may be without their 2 top pitchers for a bit after MLB hands out some punishments. Here's Rizzo, deep to right, back toward the wall. It's gone, and it's tied 2-2. Cubs did nothing against Mike Leake in the first 3 innings, but they've drawn even on the Rizzo blast, his second.
Boy, yeah, pretty swing of the bat. He's just had one good at-bat after another. He's off to a great start here. He had not been hitting for power, but the quality of that bat was outstanding. Here's the Ford home run replay. Second of the year for Rizzo, second of his career against Leake.
Well, what a nice, easy swing.
Yeah, just a nice, easy pass. He's so strong. He doesn't have to overswing.
Chris Bryant into left center, and Bird just knocks it down on the bounce. It's a hit for Bryant. Double homer single in the first 4 batters of this inning.
Down off the end of the bat with some top spin. Bryant now 1 out of 2.
Coughlin flied to right on a broken bat, his first at bat. Actually, the bat broke as he hit the ball. It wasn't broken before. Now 8 for 9 in his career. That might have been a 2-minute penalty, because I think you have to drop it immediately.
Because it's dangerous. Yeah.
The ratio to, for a name on the back, the lettering of the name on the back, and the team logo on the front, it's got to be the biggest in Major League history for these Reds throwbacks. That ball gets away. Bryant on his way to second. Should be a throwing error on Leake.
The payoff when you're a guy like Bryant, who's got some speed. He's not just a big lumbering guy, can run a little bit, so they're paying attention to him over there. Draws the errant throw from Leake. Yeah, well, see, and that team won a World Series, so maybe it is more important about the name on the back than the name on the front.
Right. That lettering, it's enormous.
That team was full of self-esteem.
Driven foul. You got this tiny REDS in red on the front. Those big letters on the back. The Sands Belt pants are a good look too.
Yeah, that was solid.
Chance here now to take the lead. Runner at second, only one out. The kick, the pitch. 2-2.
Leak really slowing things down, and yet another conversation at the mound.
Well, foul. So just to finish up the Royals White Sox deal. People are gunning for the Royals. Went to the World Series last year. They're obviously a pretty tight-knit group. I wonder if teams are going to start now to try to antagonize Ventura, knowing that he might lose his edge.
Yeah, well, I think his teammates need to calm him down a little bit.
In the air to right. Bruce with room as Bryant tags. And he's going to hold. Bruce with a good arm.
Because he got into it with Mike Trout, too, at home plate. And got into a shouting match.
Yeah, getting kicked out of half your starts and then injuries in the other two. He could be pitcher of the month in terms of just headlines.
He's like a villain in pro wrestling.
Boy, does he have good stuff, though?
Yeah, oh, he's got a bright future. He's got unbelievable stuff. Of course, when you pitch in the American League where you don't have to come to bat, it's easy to be throwing guys.
So you buy that? You think that the no DH thing does keep guys a little more honest?
I don't think for most guys it does, but if you're a guy who routinely goes headhunting, sooner or later you're going to have to hit, and somebody's going to come and get you.
Good lead by Bryant, and time called.
No, most of the time, even in the National League, the way it works, if you're seeking retribution, is you hit our star player, we're going to hit your star player. But there comes a point if you get the reputation of being a headhunter, they're going to throw at you, the pitcher.
Driven the other way by Castro. Way back. Caught by Hamilton. Up against the wall, and Castro slams his helmet down. He thought he had one, or at least an extra base hit. But Hamilton can go get him in center field. Rizzo with a 2-run homer to tie it. It's 2-2. Some Predators battle in Game 6. Flip over to CSN Chicago for instant reaction, highlights, and more on Blackhawks Post-Game Live, presented by Hawk Ford. All season and all postseason long after every game on Comcast Sportsnet tomorrow. Billy Hamilton has had a rather large impact on this game. He has been on twice, stolen 3 bases, scored twice, and just took away an extra base RBI hit from Starlin Castro. Marlon Bird, foul pop. Ross will watch it drop to the seats.
I want to limit the amount of time you spend in the strike zone against Marlon Bird. He's a free swinger, strikes out a lot. He's yet to draw a walk this year.
He had 58 plate appearances. No walks, 18 strikeouts. He is 1 for 1 tonight. Make it 2 for 2. And he's got a double. John Lester, by the way, came into this inning with 60 pitches, 20 per inning to start the ball game. So they've made him work.
Fourth consecutive inning the leadoff man has reached, and immediately after this ball was hit, John dropped his head, just really mad at himself for the location there to Marlon Bird. You see the breakdown right out of the chute, and mostly Hamilton. Hamilton reaching base both times, putting a lot of pressure on Lester. A lot of pressure on everybody out there when he's on the bases.
Got away from him. 1-0 on Pena. With Mesoraco down, Pena has started 10 of the Reds' last 12 games. Castro has to throw to first. That ball was not hit hard enough. Good read by Bird.
Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated, game used, and autographed Cubs memorabilia. Visit Cubs.com/authentics for more information and to bid on weekly auction items, including game used baseballs, jerseys, bases, and more. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
Now the infield in with a runner at third in a tie ball game. And the number 8 hitter at the plate, Cozart.
Yeah, and that's kind of the determining factor. One of the many determining factors, where you are in the order, where you are in the game. It's less likely for a big inning to blossom down here at the bottom of the order. So you take the gamble, pull the infield in.
Suicide squeeze, bunted foul. Bird took off with the pitch. There are 2 good results for the offensive team there. Really, there's one great result, and that is you get it down, you get the run in, and maybe reach first. The other good one, though, is that. Because if you miss it, that guy's probably a dead duck. If you pop it up, it's a double play.
A dead bird.
A dead bird, yes.
Good pitch.
And we've been talking with Joe Madden about Don Zimmer. They were very close. In his final days was special assistant in Tampa Bay. Wonder if Zim ever tried back-to-back suicide squeezes, like the foul and then do it again. It sounds like something he might consider.
Yeah.
You know,
I believe I've seen that done before. Yeah, just to, like, there's no way they think we're going to try it again.
Right. Now Lester would love a strikeout. It's like they're going in.
Those are pretty good middle end, so if you're going to go in, make sure you get it in off the plate. apparently, talking about Cozart's improved work with the bat this year, he was talking with Barry Larkin in spring training, and Larkin emphasized the need to hit the inside of the baseball, keeping your hands in, being willing to shoot it the other way. Been more of a pull type hitter. And by the inside of the ball, I mean like the inner half, not the inside where the center of the ball is.
Right. Blocked by Ross.
Likely swinging. Cozart doesn't walk much. Struck out last time, chased a changeup way down out of the zone.
So you're thinking possibly a pitch out of the strike zone here to get a swing and a miss.
They're going to go hard in with the cutter. Yeah, and this is where it becomes really important to know tendencies. Cozart's got a walk rate of 3%. So league average is probably 7 or 8%. A lot of times that's part of the job description for an 8-hole hitter with the pitcher on deck. Be willing to swing, try to drive a run in.
Fowler going back on this ball, and he will get to it. He was playing pretty shallow against Cozart, and that'll be a long sac fly. So the Reds have scored 3 runs, all on outs, ground outs, with the first and the third, and now a sacrifice fly here in the fourth to make it 3-2.
Yeah, Hamilton manufacturing runs with his speed, and here the leadoff double by Bird. They cash it in, and Pena able to make contact on the ground and advance Bird to third, and Cozart with the deep fly to score him.
Well, this has the feel of another tight game, and the Cubs have already played 8 one-run decisions, tied for the most in the majors here early on. They're 4-4 so far. So if it feels like we've had a lot of thrillers, we have. More than half the games have been decided by only 1 run.
Yeah. Cubs have shown some late inning drama, ability to come back late. Let one get away yesterday in a 4-1 lead. Couldn't hang on.
Foul tip, strike 3. So after the Cubs tied it, the Reds answer right back, and it's 3-2 Cincinnati.
suite at Wrigley Field. The Nuveen Investment Suites can accommodate anywhere from 15 to 55 guests, include food, all you can drink beverages, and parking. To book your premier experience at the ballpark, how about Cubs.com/suites.
I bet you're wondering, where's the All-Star game this year? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's here in Cincinnati for the first time since 1988. It will be the 5th time Cincinnati has hosted the All-Star game. 38-53 Crosley Field, 1970 and 1988 at Riverfront Stadium. And Pete Rose will be allowed to participate in some activities around that event, according to the commissioner, Rob Manfred. July 14th. We've got some guys right now in the third base dugout who would love to be over in the first base dugout playing for the National League on July 14th. I think it's a good place for the All-Star game.
Well, sure.
You know, with all the history
here in Cincinnati. That home run derby is going to be crazy in this ballpark. It might take 9 hours.
Yeah, that's a good call. July in Cincinnati. Yikes. The 3-1 to David Ross is bounced foul.
Go hang out at the handlebar.
On the ground, Frazier will scoop and fire to Votto in time. Somebody not real happy about that ground out, and I have a feeling it was the batter. That'll bring up Lester.
Well, that's what Lee can do to you too, right? I mean, he's not a guy that you lose sleep over facing the night before. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to hit off Mike Leake and all that nasty stuff. He's just a pitcher. He's kind of like Kyle Hendricks. Moves it in and out, change speeds, has good movement. A lot of frustrated hitters thinking they should do more with some of these offerings, but late movement is a difference maker, and he's got it. Well, that was either a heck of a play or a heck of an effort by that fan.
Somebody's getting high fives
down
there.
Man.
Diving grab. Unless the 3 people he ran over aren't too happy. Look
at the big fella stretching out, making a play.
Well, actually didn't hit anybody. That's a good job. Phillips gets Lester. Bad news for the Tigers and Joe Nathan. He's done for the season. Tore his ulnar collateral ligament while working in a rehab outing on Wednesday. He's 40 years old, and he, at least for now, says, I'm not done yet. This will not be the first time he's had Tommy John surgery. I don't know, man. 40? That'd be tough.
Do not go quietly into that good night.
2-0 on Russell. He struck out looking in the 3rd inning. The 4th was the big one for the Cubs. They got the 2-run homer from Rizzo, but very quiet in the other frames against Mike Leake.
I would be tempted to turn him loose right here. It would be unconventional. Your 9-hole hitter, 3 balls, no strikes, but he's got power. And Leake has shown the ability to throw strikes tonight, so it's unlikely he's going to walk. Hasn't walked anybody yet.
Fouled off. Luis checking in. What's the sound before a pitch? Almost like pictures being taken. I think that's the case. Trying to get the big shot. So you'll hear sometimes those cameras doing their thing.
Good swing. Real good swing.
That's a big iPhone.
Yeah, that doesn't fit in your pocket. That breaking ball did not have a lot of bite. They got away with it.
Strike 3 called on the breaker. 3-2 Reds.
Our Cubs swag in the private meet and greet with a current player this year include road trips to D.C., Milwaukee, as well as trips to Wrigley Field. For more information, visit Cubs.com/travel.
So Billy Hamilton leading off an inning for the 3rd time tonight. First 2 times single to center. A stolen base of second. Getting a third on either a wild pitch or a steal, and then scoring on a ground out. Offer first out of play. 3-2 Reds. John Lester in his first road start as a Chicago Cub, still looking for his first victory. All 3 starting pitching matchups the same as what we saw at Wrigley Field last week. Lester gave up 3 in the first in that outing, 3 in the 6th. He got a no decision. The Cubs came back and won that game 7-6 in 10 innings. On the ground, diving stop, Russell up with a throw to first. Out! What a play!
Ryan Price up the steps of the dugout and buy a little time and contemplate challenging this one, and indeed what a play by Addison Russell. No time to spare with Billy Hamilton going down the line. One more time for you. Backhand, and look how quickly he gets up into a throwing position. Nice little pick by Rizzo on the other end.
And no challenge by the Reds. They just got him. Can't tell you how big an out that is.
Oh, gosh.
They get Billy Hamilton, of all people. As Just run the Cubs ragged.
Yeah, and if I were John Lester, I would have been tempted to walk over and just give Addison a hug. So thanks, man. I don't want to deal with that nonsense anymore. Let me pitch.
1-1 on Votto. 0 for 2 with an RBI. Ross and Lester trying to get on the same page here. David saying, look at me. I got you here. It's low. And it's 2-1. Smacked on the ground, foul. The Mets are down 6-0 in the 6th in the Bronx. Big weekend in New York as the Mets have already won 11 in a row, trying to set a new franchise record with what would be their 12th. But if they do it, they're going to have to mount a late big comeback. Strike 3, got it.
Votto, who was 0 for 4 in the ball game yesterday, 0 for 3 tonight. Lester has struck him out twice.
Paul O'Neill here for this big weekend. No Lou Piniella, though. Disappointed. Lou had a previous engagement. They had the video of Lou throwing first base literally into the outfield during that 1990 season on the big board here earlier. Yeah, Ron Oster, Jose Rio, Chris Sabo, Rob Dibble, Eric Davis, Norm Charlton, Tom Browning, your buddy.
Maybe if Lou were here, Dibbs and Lou could reenact a wrestling match in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Hal Morris. Another one rolled foul.
Ron Robinson, he was on that club, wasn't he?
Yep. And he's on the list. He'll be here. Paul O'Neill, one of the great snappers in the game. Some good snappage.
Yeah,
he could break stuff in the dugout.
Remember that play where he booted the ball in the outfield, literally dropped it and then kicked it into to the cutoff man.
Does a nice job on the Yankees telecast.
Yeah, he turned out, he was a good player here. He turned out to be an outstanding player with the Yankees.
Two balls, two strikes. Swing and a miss. That is strikeout number 8 for John Lester. Got a lot of help from his 21-year-old teammate. Still 3-2. They have gotten on the board down 6-1 at the Yankees, and Cologne, DeGrom, and Familia taking over as their closer. They just had a 10-0 homestand.
Lucas Duda hitting .351.
Sixth inning, and a 3-2 Reds lead. A cut and a miss. And a good cutter from Leake. He's had all of his pitches working tonight.
4 perfect innings, and then the hiccup in the 4th. Bounce back with a 1-2-3 5th.
Places that sinker right at the bottom of the zone. It's 1-2.
I think the pace of play rules really help a guy like Leake too. Hitters would be inclined to step out and take some time to try to upset his rhythm. This, you got to stay in the batter's box rule. That's obviously tougher to do.
Here's his 2-2, a swing and a miss. Looking the upper part of the strike zone to get Fowler.
How do you get to Wrigley Field? Cubs suggest the use of public transportation. If you ride a bike, you can use the courtesy bike check. That's located near Clark and Addison. If you're driving, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games. That's at 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com. If you're walking, I suggest appropriate shoes. Something with plenty of support. What a great way to go to the ballpark, right? Take a nice, the weather's nice and cool, a nice brisk walk. Power sinker there at 92.
Leake was drafted 8th overall in the 09 draft, and then never did pitch in the minor leagues. Made his big league debut in 2010.
Oh, he's feeling it now. He's stomping around the mound after that punch out. What he did so well in this game is establish command of his secondary pitches early. Now he's locking guys up with fastballs. Planted that seed that he might put that wrinkle in it, and throwing fastballs to finish hitters off here more than the last couple of innings.
Well, Rizzo got him in the 4th for a game-tying 2-run homer. All 3 hits and both runs coming in that 4th inning.
The Cubs have been a very patient club this year. They forced managers to make early moves to the bullpen, and that would be very important this weekend here in Cincinnati, because this bullpen has really struggled. And you got the big guy, Aroldis Chapman, in the 9th, but getting to the 9th has been an issue.
Well, there's a catch-22 on a night like this, because Leake is putting the ball right where he wants to. It's not as if he's getting a ton of swings and misses. Now that pitch wasn't in the strike zone, but he's around the zone. So just standing there and taking pitches isn't necessarily going to get him out of his game.
And that's why I argued I wouldn't have had a problem with Addison Russell swinging 3-0, because he clearly has command of the zone. Sometimes with a guy like Leake, that 3-0 is the one kind of straight, kind of over the heart of the plate pitch you're going to see.
And you're kind of like, you want to throw this one? The body language on the catcher giving the signs can often be fun to watch. It's like, no, no, no. How about this one?
Yeah.
Foul.
Yeah, Leake is in complete command of this relationship. He knows right now what he wants to throw.
Yep.
As soon as the previous pitch crosses home plate, is fouled off, whatever, he knows exactly what he wants to do. And Pena's just trying to follow along.
Ball 4.
Running fastball up and away. Rizzo on base again. First walk of the night by Leake.
Those two guys standing next to one another remind me of each other at the plate these days. See a lot of Votto tendencies with Anthony Rizzo, and that's a very good thing.
Yeah. Well, both guys have walked more than they've struck out.
One strike on Bryant. Here it is. In tight. They're still searching for his first home run. Would not be a crazy prediction to say it might come in this hitter's ballpark. This is his 8th career game. Pitcher strike, 1-2.
Wrinkle, a little Laredo sidearm fastball towards the outside corner, just missed.
Oakland on deck. Rizzo will go with the pitch. And it's on the way. Bryant breaks his bat. In the air, Bird coming on in left, and the inning is over. 2-out walk, no runs. Midway in the 6th, 3-2 Reds. Road to the Draft special. Join Chris Bowden along with former Bears coach Dave Wannstedt, quarterback Jim Miller as they break down who the Bears may pick at number 7. Who's your guy? Plus the latest from around the league Sunday at 10:30 on Sportsnet Central. Reds here in the home half of the 6th. David Phillips fouls. 2 2 ball, 1 strike. Crushed to left. Phillips standing there watching it. He knows it's foul. And it is by a lot. I actually don't have a problem with him watching that, because off the bat it looked like it was hit about 500 feet.
Yeah, and then it's just a matter of whether it was fair or not, so he didn't sit there and watch and try to gauge it.
2-2. Cardinals are in Milwaukee this weekend, and leading the Brewers tonight 2-0 as they play the third. Gonzalez, German, and Phil Koch. Carlos Martinez, Matt Garza, the matchup in that one. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Not the slowest pitch you'll see John Lester throw. 73 miles an hour.
Lester was a little bit better last time than he was in his previous 2 starts, and now settling in here tonight. If not for Billy Hamilton, he'd have a heck of a ball game going.
Bruce has struck out and lined out August 28th of last year against the Cubs. 5 at bats, 5 strikeouts. He said that day he tried to hold his hands a little lower, and the experiment failed miserably, in his words. Said the 5th strikeout was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to him on a baseball field, and admitted he nearly had a panic attack. That is a rough day.
Yeah, you got to have a sense of humor in this game, and you got to be willing to take your lumps. And a lot of times when a player has a really bad day, his teammates would just kind of get all over him. You know, but I don't know. Maybe that's probably one where they avoided eye contact for a while.
First time Lester has hit the 100 pitch mark this season, just over 100. And no low pitch innings. Major League average 15, 16 pitches per inning, and he's been at that or above all night. Bruce went. Strike 3. Punch out number 9. By far a season high.
3/4 swing, clearly went. I got 10 on my card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 10. You are correct. That's 4 in a row. I put 8 for back-to-back strikeouts when it should have been 8 and 9. Yep.
We'll go to the graphic for confirmation. That's a heck of a ratio right there. 10 punch-outs against 1 walk.
Bird swings away, sends a towering fly out to Fowler. And the inning is over. 3-2 Reds. Let's go to the 7th.
5-0 in his career against the Cubs in this ballpark. The Reds have won all 7 of his starts against the Cubs here. Rock solid tonight. Good sinker there to get Soler. Command of the secondary pitches has been outstanding. Works quickly, throws strikes. John Lester has stood tall tonight as well. And we've got a very entertaining ball game as we head to the 7th. Pitchers have combined for 17 strikeouts and only 2 walks.
Lester hitting double digits a lot in his career. His career best, by the way, 15. Set last year with Boston. Coughlin swings and misses. Good curveball from Leake. Hit hard, but foul. Just foul.
Got the barrel to it, just couldn't keep it fair. Double barrel action for the Reds in the bullpen. Cingrani, the lefty, Hoover, the righty, are up.
Driven in the air to deep left. Bird is back on the warning track. It's gone, and we're tied, and Coughlin has gotten Leake again.
Perhaps Mike Leake had thought he had turned a corner on Chris Coughlin, who came into the game 8 for 8 against him. He retired Coughlin the first 2 times, but Chris reasserting his dominance here. Our 4th home run replay. Running fastball, no sink. Coughlin with good power the other way.
His 3rd home run. 9 for 11 against Mike Leake.
Castro with a bid for extra bases last time he was up, but Billy Hamilton ran it down on him.
It's number 100 for Leake, and he gets Castro for his 8th strikeout. Cutter at 89. Here's Ross. Lester is in the on-deck circle as he chats with his manager, Joe Madden. Called strike. Ross, a former Red, 21 home runs, just 90 games, 2006 with Cincinnati. Finished with a .932 OPS that year. A.J. Hoover and Tony Cingrani getting loose. Driven deep to right. Bruce on the track. He's got just enough room. Sounded good off the bat. 2 down.
He got into it pretty good. Just didn't carry. Coughlin home run likely kept Lester in the ball game.
Yep.
Coupled with the fact that Lester has been really good here. Since the double by Bird, he has not allowed a base runner. That was back in the 4th, so he's retired 9 in a row. 5 strikeouts in that stretch.
Yeah, you've got a lot of factors. Maybe starting to get him stretched out. He's pitched well. You've had bullpen issues in the 6th and 7th lately. Makes sense to give him another inning if you can.
Reds are at the bottom of their order too, coming up to hit in the bottom half of the inning. Sometimes just no matter how well a guy's going along, you don't want that middle of the order to get a 4th look at him.
Could be it for Leake. Pitch number 110 is strike 3. Chris Coughlin led off the inning with an opposite field home run. All 3 runs coming on homers by the Cubs, and we're tied 3-3. But it's going to be Phil Koch here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, so disregard all those reasons we gave you for leaving Lester in the ball game. Well, those were all legitimate reasons to leave him in the ball game, but Joe Madden obviously had another plan, and it's Phil Koch that comes trotting out of the Cubs bullpen on for the 9th time. He's pitched to a 5.79 ERA, 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, a couple of walks, 6 strikeouts. Pena, Cozart, and then the pitcher spot due up here for the Reds in the bottom of the 7th.
So Joe deciding to save his bullets in a tie ball game for later on. With a short bench, Cubs going with an extra reliever at the moment. Pena, Cozart, and either Leake or a pinch hitter. And in most cases, I would say a pinch hitter, but Mike Leake, pretty good hitting pitcher.
Yeah, and for all those reasons, too, that we talked about with Lester and the Cubs, a leaky bullpen for the Reds.
Pun intended?
No. We got a leak starter and a leaky bullpen.
The 1-0 on the way. It's a strike at the knees from Koch. Evan Mesoraco would be the guy for Leake.
Well, the other thing too, in regards to John Lester, you get him up the tunnel feeling good about things. The way he finished off this outing, overall a solid outing, and at the end of it, really, really good stuff. As I mentioned, 9 in a row, retired with 5 strikeouts, punched out 10 tonight.
6 innings, 3 runs. That is a fair ball into the right field corner. Soler's going to run it down. Pena is going to try for 3. Nope, he's going to put on the brakes. And just about anybody else in this lineup has a triple, but it's a catcher running, and he said, I'm not going to test Jorge Soler.
Well, yeah, and he's not going to test himself, too, because you see it a lot of times with all runners and really slow-footed guys legging out those triples. They get about halfway to third base, and like they're running in quicksand. One of the oldest cliches in this game. Stay within yourself. Know what you're capable of. Pena knows he's not a speed guy. And he got himself a leadoff double. That ball whipped around the outfield wall there like a puck around the boards.
Cornermen guarding against a possible bunt. Cozart looks at a strike. Mesoraco now is on deck for Leake. Late, and it's tight. 3-3 here in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Well, we saw Mike Leake at his absolute best tonight, even though he gave up the 3 runs. On the home runs, he largely was in command all night. Deep breath by Koch. The 0-2 is low.
Yeah, a lot of times this game is just a matter of how many mistakes you get away with. You always make mistakes. You always leave a few pitches out over the plate or hang a breaking ball or 2 or 3 or 4. And some days you get away with them. Other days you pay.
Thought you might use the dog in the fire hydrant analogy.
With a windshield and the bug.
Right. Footwork by Cozart to get out of the way.
Koch would love to end this confrontation with Pena still at second base. Try to keep this ball out of play or pop him up so Pena can't advance. He's not a risk taker on the bases.
Three and two. You referenced Jay Bruce with the little hand twitch. Phil Koch with a little shoulder shrug in the set position as he gets ready to throw to the plate. Every guy's kind of got his thing.
Well, sometimes too, there's just that deep breath and exhale, kind of relax, take the tension out.
A topper fielded by Koch. Pena goes right back to second base. It's a big first out.
And mission accomplished. Out recorded, no advance for Pena. That's a ball where sometimes a speedy guy ends up making a bad decision on the bases because they're looking to go. And they know the ball in front of them, they're not supposed to go. The ball behind them, they do. They'll run right back to the mound. Sometimes they misread.
Pitching change, Mesoraco announced. 3-3 in the seventh. Wednesday night against the Pirates. Had his changeup working. As he'll face Devin Mesoraco, the pinch hitter.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Saw him a number of times in spring training. He does have big league time in the past with the Mets. Sort of 94-mile-an-hour heater. A real good changeup. Talking with Joe Madden earlier about him today. He likes his slider as well. And we'll see how tonight goes. His second outing with the Cubs.
Mesoraco had a bust-out year last year. He has not started since April 12th. He did pinch hit Tuesday. And doing it again tonight, dealing with the left hip impingement. Here we go. Foul straight back on the ground.
Yeah, and I was reading about that injury, and if he were to require surgery, he'd be done for the year. And obviously, a catcher whose job is to squat. A hip impingement could be a bit of a problem, so it will be interesting to see how things develop for Mesoraco. Is he able to resume his full-time duties? Do they kind of give Pena way more starts than they anticipated? Just try to nurse Mesoraco through this season? Ultimately, if it doesn't get better, does he end up making a move to left field or something? That's probably not anything they're really contemplating yet.
Here it is. And it's off the plate outside. John Lester, by the way, appeared to shake his non-pitching hand during a swing in that final at bat. But I don't think it had anything to do why he came out.
No, I think the decision was already made.
Yes,
to
the
take
Coke came
out.
right in.
Yeah.
It's the right hand.
The right hand, yeah.
So it wasn't as if the Cubs trainers looked at Lester and said, no, he can't keep going. The second the inning ended, Phil Coke was coming out of the bullpen. And then again is his non-throwing hand. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is, close, ball 3.
Pretty keen eye there by Mesoraco for a guy who's not had a lot of plate appearances lately. The lefty Zach Ross Cup cranking it up.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Strikeouts for Cubs pitching tonight.
And back to that changeup. Well placed.
Leak and Lester will watch this game be decided by the 2 bullpens. Bullpens that have struggled as a group, respectively. Cut and a miss by Hamilton, hitting left-handed now for the first time tonight. Pena hits a gapper. He may pass Pena before he gets to third. See David Ross looking at the dugout. Maybe some strategy here. 1-2 on Hamilton. Blew it right by him at 95 to end the inning. Gonzalez German striking out 2. the Pittsburgh Pirates join us for the first pitch. It's 7 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Jumbo Diaz.
Big fella out for the 8th time. Hard thrower. Fastball averaging just under 96 miles per hour. Also has a slider and a split finger pitch. Cubs got to him back in Chicago for a couple of runs and an inning of work.
Addison Russell will lead it off. In the 9 spot, he struck out twice, both looking against Mike Leake.
Yeah, Leake can do that to you. He gets you guessing, get you all twisted up. Diaz has a little different approach. He's more straightforward, come right at you with that good fastball. See if that suits Russell any better here. Reds bullpen with an ERA of 5.01.
Three tie here in the 8th.
That 5.01 ERA for the pen, the worst in the National League.
97, but up and out of the zone.
Ball went to the backstop, I think. Didn't you hear that thud? You didn't hear the snap of the leather.
Sounded like it.
Get under it, get on top.
Gone to the 8th in New York. Yankees 6, Mets 1. That's 11-game winning streak on the line. Russell has opened the throttle here these last 2 pitches, but has come up empty. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Russell was swinging at that pitch after it hit the mitt.
Yeah. Tough night for the youngster. Cholula hot sauce radar gun, 98 miles an hour.
That's some hot sauce.
Yeah, it is.
A big glass of water. Fowler fouls on 98. They're in the 9th inning in Philadelphia. The Braves and the Phillies are scoreless. Shallow right field. Bruce makes a grab. 2 outs here in the Cubs 8th. Aaron Harang, 8 shutout innings on 2 hits for the Phillies. He's out of the game. Alex Wood started for the Braves. 3 relievers since. And a 0-0 tie as they play the top of the 9th in Philadelphia. Jorge Soler's favorite player growing up, Manny Ramirez. in the same organization. Only a hitting consultant. Saw him a lot in spring training and on this last homestand. I got to tell you, I didn't know Manny at all personally. We're getting a chance to be around him this year. I heard so many great things about him, and we know all the crazy stuff we've heard, but really a pleasure to talk baseball with Manny Ramirez. Guy knows his stuff.
Talking to him as well,
Strike called, and it's 2-1. He has a lot to offer a young hitter like Jorge Soler, Javier Baez.
Well, and
Castro.
This experience coming to the big leagues at a young age, that was certainly his story. Jumbo's got it going on tonight.
2-2.
98-mile-an-hour pellets to Russell and disappearing sliders here to Soler. Got to hang in there, battle, hope he hangs something. Makes a mistake out over the plate.
Why do I get the feeling there's some sort of freebie with the next strikeout? The crowd is buzzing here like there's something free on the line.
Well, probably get some Skyline chili or something.
So there's one thing for your guy to strike out their guy. It's another thing to get something free out of it. But he makes contact, and he's going to line out to Marlon Bird. So a polite applause by the home fans. It's 3-3. Here in Cincinnati tonight. A 3-3 tie.
Gonzalez, German, second appearance with the big club this year, entrusted this tie ball game in the 8th. Finishing the Reds off in the 7th. And he's got Votto, Frazier, and Phillips here to contend with. Kind of a murky situation in the Cubs bullpen right now, and an opportunity for Germain to put his best foot forward. So far he's been good, but obviously very limited work.
Jack McKeon had a line. He said, "You hear that noise? That's opportunity knocking. Come on in." That's the story right now in middle relief. 3-0.
Well, and that's the thing about Votto. It makes him so good. He's an ideal guy to have in this situation leading up because of his patience. He can be a rally starter, but he can also take you deep. He's gone deep 6 times already this year. How about that? Turning it loose.
3-0.
Punishing right-handed pitchers.
Swing and a miss on the change. You want to know what a changeup does to a good hitter. It's that reaction. Very awkward looking cut by Votto.
It's like when you're walking down a flight of stairs and you think there's one more step there and it's not there.
That is a great analogy. Ball 4 to start the inning.
He really makes you work, and they try to throw that running fastball to the inside corner. Oh, takes another walk.
So German now facing Frazier, who has doubled, walked, and struck out. But first, a visit from the pitching coach, Chris Bosio.
This road trip started really well. 4-game set in Pittsburgh. The Cubs won the first 2. But then dropped 2 in a row. We talked about yesterday's game a little bit earlier on. Had a 4-1 lead. Let that get away. Should be a feel-good win. Get things turned around again. That loss yesterday marking the first time all year the Cubs have lost consecutive games.
Yeah, so tonight trying to end their first losing streak of the season in 2. Reds have been up and down. They won 3 straight, lost 7 of 8. Now have won 3 of their last 4.
Broke out for 16 a couple of days ago in Milwaukee. Frazier has power to all fields. Cubs play him straight up in the outfield.
Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count.
Got a chance to get a swing and a miss from Frazier if he gets that changeup on the plate. And show it to him over the plate and just have it fade out of the strike zone.
Brandon Phillips next. Votto starting the inning with a walk. German struck out Mesoraco and Hamilton to get out of the 7th with a runner in scoring position. Trying to keep this game tied into the 9th. Bounce to third, backhanded play. Bryant, he's got to throw to first, and it's offline. Frazier is safe. Chris couldn't get anything behind that throw. He was off balance on that back foot. And it should be a hit for Frazier, and it is.
The second hop had a little juice to it, some topspin on that ball, and Bryant not able to set his feet prior to making that throw. Otto, who was anticipating a play at second, slid. Otherwise, he might have been in position to advance to third as the ball got away from Rizzo.
So trouble here, 2 on for Phillips. And Ross will go out, talk it over.
Phillips in the cleanup spot tonight, not a prototypical number 4 hitter. Normally you would not ask that guy to put a bunt down, but Cubs think there's a chance of it. Rizzo's pinching in at first, a little bit in front of the bag at third.
Real foul. No sacrifice bunts for Phillips so far this season. A couple last year.
Yeah, I agree with Brian Price. I'd let him swing the bat here, especially the way Bruce and Bird have struggled for the most part this year. Bird's having a nice night tonight, but Bruce and Bird both hitting below 200 coming into play this evening. May take it on himself, though, to push a bunt. It would force the Cubs to pull the infield in if he is successful bunting here.
The kick, the 0-1. Over but low. JD mentioned Germain with previous big league time in a Mets uniform, debuted in July of 2013. Strike call, 1-2. Side on a tight one.
Good try.
Almost got him.
Hard in with action. Looking to get a little weak ground ball with a swing from Phillips. Just missing that inside corner. 2010 through 2013, Brandon Phillips with exactly 18 home runs in each of those 4 seasons.
So he was roughly good for about 18 a year.
If you're in the numbers.
It'd be 2, 4 to 6 to 3. Big double play ball. So Votto at third, but there are 2 outs. Russell to Castro to Rizzo.
This is such a fun game because now you know the second guessers are going to be all over Brian Price. Why didn't you bunt? Oh well.
Joe keeps looking at the other bullpen. I don't know if he's just having a little fun as he's going to make a change. Joe, you can't bring Chapman into the game. He's with the Reds. 3-3. We'll be back. moving up the bullpen food chain these days. By the way, his middle name is German or Herman. It's Gonzalez Germain.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Here's Zach Roscutt.
What's his middle name?
I'll tell you in a second. Jay Bruce.
Take that, Jay Bruce.
Strike one.
Dart on the outside corner.
Nothing in two. M is all we have. We've got an initial for Zachary's middle name.
Don't get careless here. You got Bruce in a hole. There's a lot of places you can go to try to finish him off. Down and away with a heater way up and in. Breaking ball off the plate. Votto dancing aggressively down the third baseline. Deuce a balk.
Swing and a miss. Strike three.
What a job.
2 on, nobody out, and 2 relievers get out of it. Spat. Was it Nate Sherholtz? Chapman threw over his head, and the Cubs dugout
That
yelling at him,
right,
and he kind of blew him off with the glove wave. And
then,
half inning.
Yeah, somebody chirped from the Reds dugout, and Anthony walked on over there, essentially challenging the entire Reds club, and there was a little dust up. Nothing really big came of it.
By the way, the M stands for Matthew.
Matthew.
Zachary Matthew Roscoe.
A heck of a job by Zachary Matthew in the bottom of the 8th. And here we go. The Cuban Missile Crisis on. There's a 1 out of 10 in his career against Chapman.
Great researchers on my Twitter feed. They can find Wikipedia like that. Thanks to all my peeps. Here we go. 3-3 in the 9th inning. Cubs went 2-2 at Pittsburgh. And trying to make it 3 out of 4 against the Reds to start this season series. 99 for a strike.
That's his average velocity.
It's kind of hot sauce that burns your tongue and feel it for about a week. Cholula hot sauce gun reading 100 back to 99. 1 and 2. FM dial. 2 and 2. And he's not a max effort guy. Fluid motion. Just
long and lean.
Driven out toward deep left center. Bird going after it. And he almost overran it. He dropped the ball. Rizzo will pull up at second base. Cubs in business. Marlon Bird got to the spot and kind of overran it and could not make the catch.
It may have had a little slice spin. It did have some slice spin, perhaps lights, but either way, another good at bat by Rizzo. You see the gun reading up there on that ribbon board. 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Rizzo able to hit it with authority out there. And
they're giving him a double. That ball was scalded. I'm sure Marlon Bird would tell you should have caught it. Doesn't really matter what the scoring is. Cubs have a runner at second and 3 chances to get him in. Starting with Chris Bryant. Ball 1. At least it's not snowing. And it was the other night when the Cubs were facing Archimedes Caminero and his fastball.
Got less than half a second to react at home plate when a guy's throwing that hard.
Rondon, the closer. If the Cubs get the lead, if not, Mott would be ready in the bottom of the ninth.
Essentially, in a blink of an eye, you have to see the ball out of the pitcher's hand, try to get some sense of what the pitch is, track it, and pull the trigger, decide whether to swing or not.
Three-time All-Star Aroldis Chapman, each of the last 3 seasons. Bryant hanging in there. It's 3 and 2. Wellington Castillo on his birthday gets to come into the game late and face Chapman's fastball. Would be for Coghlan. Three-two to Bryant. Ball 4.
Do not want to make a mistake and leave a ball out over the plate for Bryant. Been trying to pitch him in all night long. Castillo's been good as a pinch hitter this year. He's 2 out of 5, a home run, 3 driven in, and a couple of hard outs too. And he comes off the bench. He comes out off that bench hacking for a first pitch fastball out over the plate. If he gets one from Chapman, I fully expect him to take a pretty healthy rip at it.
2 on, nobody out.
If it's down a little bit, he can get to it up above the hands there. It's a little tougher mission.
Well, you've got to gear up really early to hit that.
Yeah, that's it. You got to just be ready to turn it loose and make a really quick decision. I don't think there's a whole lot of thinking going on. It's just a reaction.
Chapman does have a slider and a changeup. He has not used anything but the fastball here in these first 13 pitches. And they've all been 98 to 101. 0-2 to Castillo, in the air to center. Hamilton trying to get behind the ball. Rizzo tags, and he's going to stop. Throw is offline, but pretty strong toss to Frazier. Probably the right read by Rizzo. 1 away.
Yeah, not deep enough to challenge. And Hamilton, even though that throw is offline, does have a very strong arm.
Would Joel get really daring here and try a hit and run? You've got a contact guy at the plate, but you've got a swing and miss pitcher. Strike 1.
Yeah, I don't think he would, because you don't have the great fear. Even though Castro hits the ball on the ground a lot, less likely to do it against a guy like Chapman.
There they go. Hit and run, swing and a miss, and they steal the bag.
Well, he's got great jumps. I mean, if he had a straight steal there, they weren't going to be able to make a play on anybody. Watch the jump Rizzo gets. They never make him stop.
He's got a weird feeling Joe might do something that Chapman doesn't normally face.
Right.
I think a lot of teams think about doing that.
You have to think outside the box against a guy like Chapman. He's so hard to hit.
He's got that big leg kick. So now the infield is in. And the 0-2 is inside. We talk a lot about, strikeouts are outs. In a lot of cases, it's just an out. The contact here is paramount against a very difficult guy to make contact against. And Starlin strikes out. That was a tall order against Chapman. 2 outs.
It's 101 miles an hour up in his eyes. It looks good coming out of the hand, but very few guys are going to do anything with that pitch.
So it's up to David Ross.
Chapman struck out over half the batters he faced last year. That's Little League stuff.
Yep. Former Red Chris Denorfia is on deck for Zachary Matthew.
Good swing.
1-1.
Shorten it up, try to be quick.
2-1 to Ross. Broken bat pop up, foul ground. Chapman finds a way out of it. Still tied, 3-3. And now left. Jonathan Herrera will play third after Coughlin was lifted for the pinch hitter.
That guy's a Reds fan.
Good call. Herrera goes into the 5 spot. Ross Cup continues, facing Marlon Byrd. Strike one. Mets winning streak is over. Michael Pineda over Jacob deGrom. 6-1 Yankees the final. That game was played in New York.
I bet you there's a headline tomorrow that says Yankees still rule New York or something to that effect.
We're at Yankee Stadium this weekend. Swing and a miss. 45-310 at Yankee Stadium tonight. Phillies got a run in the bottom of the 9th. Game ended on a Freddie Freeman error. 1-0 Phillies over the Braves.
The Phillies 6-11. They're averaging less than 3 runs per game. He's swinging.
And he swings and misses. Ross Cup has faced 2. A couple of punch outs. Here comes Anya.
Zach put on about 15 pounds of muscle this winter. He really filled out.
This is 0-1. 0-2 on
good
Pena.
too. As soon as he throws that pitch, he goes right back to the rubber. Let's go, boys. On the attack. Work quickly, but make sure you don't start to drift in your delivery. Don't get too jumpy. Got a piece of David Ross.
Brian Pena, born in Havana, Cuba, defected on Venezuela. He was with the Cuban 17 and under national team. Ended up in Costa Rica. Best friend as a child growing up in Cuba, Yunel Escobar. He ended up defecting 2004. Pena in 1999. Ross Cup's 0-2 is up and in.
He's got sneaky cheese. Not stinky cheese, but sneaky cheese. Late swings at 91-92. Rides the ball well. See ya. He's going to strike everybody out.
Zach against Zach. And guess what? This guy's got a K in his first name.
It would be appropriate, wouldn't it? Seems like the pitcher Zach would have the K. Oh well. Kozar can ambush you down for the bottom of the batting order here. He's having a nice year with the bat. Nothing tonight. I had the sac fly in the fourth, so 0 for 2. Stay away from the power. Short porch and left. Just go down and away with a good heater.
Christopher Negron is on deck.
Nice adjustment. We talked earlier about work quickly, but don't speed up your delivery. It looked like he was getting a little too quick. That's why all those balls were drifting outside. That time he stayed back a little longer.
Got K and Zach Kozart's name on the line here, 3-2. The pitch in the air. Get together. Usually it's a center fielder, but in this case, the bigger guy. We're going to extras from Cincy, 3-3. Jerky, feed your wild side. Chapman's going to continue, and it'll be former Red Chris Denorfia. They hit for Ross Cup.
Chapman's not going to face him.
You can only make a change at the beginning of an inning if the other team pinch hits. And that will be the case. Changed that rule a few years ago.
I was a little surprised to see Chapman out there for a second inning of work, but if Brian Price just wanted to see who was going to hit for the Cubs so he could respond.
3-3 as we start the 10th. As you said, why he put Chapman on the mound. Joe had a couple of options, chose Denorfia. Now it's J.J. Hoover, the right-hander, and Joe Madden will respond by using Miguel Montero.
Yeah, Joe, you're kind of going Gene Mach here. Burns Denorfia gets the advantage with Montero, the lefty, up there against Hoover.
Righty versus lefty as we start the 10th. Curveball in the dirt.
But that pretty much empties the Cubs bench.
Yep. Travis Wood, I'm sure, has his spikes on.
Uh-huh. Joe's a little bit of a riverboat gambler. He's not afraid to push the buttons. A lot of managers say, I didn't want to run out of players in a tie game. Joe's philosophy is, let's just go for it. Comes in handy when you have players on your roster who can play multiple positions.
We mentioned the other night Travis Wood was a big Cubs hit away from playing the outfield in the 9th inning.
Home run swing, just a little tardy.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, we often think of crazy scenarios. You know, this guy could go here, he might do this later, whatever. Understand that Joe thinks that way too. And the safe bet is not always the one he's going to pick. And that's the fun of it. I mean, I didn't even think about, the other night, right off the bat, my thought was, well, Herrera's played a little bit in the outfield, so he'll just move him out there and leave the kid at third. And Chris Bryant goes to center.
Yeah.
And then he starts there the next night.
Yeah, and I think that that was a PNC specific move because of the big left field there. He thought Chris would have a better chance in center than left. But yeah, I do think there's a certain amount of, hey man, let's just play the game. Let's have some fun. Other people might say, man, Chris Bryant, he's got a week in the big leagues, and you're putting him out in center field, taking him out of his comfort zone.
Well, the line sticks with us. Never let the pressure exceed the pleasure.
Yeah,
Joe has stuck to his guns.
And it's also a discovery process too, finding out what guys are capable of, pushing them. Kind of setting the tone here early in his tenure as a manager of the Cubs. All hands on deck. Everybody be ready.
Cut and a miss. Strike three. You've got a couple of bullpens that had been struggling, but so far so good. Polk, Jermaine Rosscup. Nobody giving up a run. Diaz, Chapman, Hoover so far for the Reds.
There has been 28 strikeouts in this ball game tonight.
Cubs 2-0 in extras. Reds are 1-2. Doesn't really mean anything, just passing along the information. You would not glean from that. The Cubs are a good old extra innings team, and the Reds are not. Fowler pops out. 1-2-3 for Hoover. 3-3 in the 10th. Right-hander Jason Mott will do the work. He'll face a former Cardinal teammate, Skip Schumacher, who will lead it off in the 9 spot. Then Hamilton, then Votto.
Jason worked yesterday. Scoreless inning. A lot of hit. Had a couple of strikeouts. Five runs combined in the previous 2 outings for Jason.
Schumacher has that fun little practice swing right here. Throws the bat around once, fouls off. Schumacher takes up almost the entire back of his jersey. Look at that. Trouble, and it's down. Lob wedge single to start the 10th for Skip Schumacher.
He looks rather sheepish about that hit. Shanked the lob wedge at that. All the spin on that ball. Hamilton, last year watching him play, he was more adept at bunting for a base hit than when he was asked to sacrifice. Tough man to double because of his wheels. Joey Votto on deck. See how Brian Price chooses to play it.
Herrera way in at third. Popped foul and beyond the backstop and into the stands.
Yeah, and that's what I recall about watching Hamilton last year. When asked to sacrifice, he just didn't look that comfortable. When he was bunting for a base hit, did a better job of getting on top of the ball and getting it down on the ground. He drops the barrel of that bat, changes the angle, gets underneath the ball. Nothing you can do but pop it up.
There's the bunt. Get rid of it quickly. Just got him. Supposed to be routine, and it's anything but with Billy Hamilton running.
He changes the baseball clock. We talk a lot about the baseball clock. Guys get used to a certain pace, rhythm they have making plays. Normally you can come in, kind of take your time here, just make sure you don't mishandle. But with Hamilton, you got to be a little bit quicker, put a little more on the throw.
I was just thinking, you might as well just walk Votto, and that's exactly what the Cubs are going to do. So there's ball one. First base open, set up a double play chance. That quote run doesn't mean anything. Trying to keep the winning run from scoring.
Yeah, and I don't know how this is going to play out, but essentially, you know, that's what Brian Price did by having Billy Hamilton butt there, is take the bat out of Joey Votto's hands.
Frazier, double walk, strikeout, infield single for him tonight. And before he bats, Chris Bosio will head out to the mound. Well, another nail biter. Go back a little bit. Your thoughts on John Lester tonight? 6 innings, 3 runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts.
Yeah, a lot to like. I mean, Hamilton got on twice against him in the first and third. Used his speed to work his way around the bases. Scored 2 runs. Maybe not as sharp in the early going as he was later, but you know, the later stages of his outing, he was really, really crisp and struck out 10, walked 1. Very positive. He was a little better last time out than he was in his first 2, and much better tonight.
Here's a pitch to Frazier, a swing and a miss. Mott hitting 95 on the gun.
Winning run in scoring position, infielders and leave their feet to knock a ball down. Don't let the ball out of the infield.
Popped up. Ross has it for out number 2.
That four-seam fastball up above the hands. That's a lot of outs in the air.
Bottom right, that's Schumacher representing the winning run. The pitch to Brandon Phillips. Cutter outside. Outfield left to right, Bryant, Fowler, Soler. Infield third to first, Herrera, Castro, Russell, Rizzo, Ross behind the plate. Jason Mott trying to get this game into the 11th.
If you can do that, the Cubs have 2, 3, 4 scheduled to bat.
Chapman already out of the game too. Oof. A flinch by Jeff Nelson. 3-1.
Drop down cutter. Nelson got it right. Dangerous pitch here. Whoa.
We're loaded.
Not what I had in mind when I said dangerous pitch. Phillips 0 for 4 plus a walk. Jay Bruce stands in 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
Three on with 2 outs. And the pitch to Jay Bruce. He was late. See, Mott's got that necklace on, and it comes outside of his jersey, ends up outside the jersey after every pitch, so he ends up tucking it back in. It's one of his things he does between pitches. Is a 1 fouled off.
97, Bruce late. The previous pitch is kind of Bruce's wheelhouse. Down, out over the middle of the plate. There's a little something extra here. And that good Cholula ball.
Two. Rose tried to buy it, couldn't get it. Picked up off of third. Herrera has room. And they leave him loaded. That'll take us to the 11th in a 3-3 tie.
$39,000 and change here tonight, being entertained. Really a fun ball game. Pitching has been outstanding. Big swings of the bat, including one by that man right there, Anthony Rizzo, with a 2-run home run earlier in the ball game. He'll be second in this inning. Soler, Rizzo, Bryant due to bat off Badenhop, the sinker baller, out of the Reds bullpen. Skip Schumacher stays in the game to play right. Badenhop not a strikeout guy. Sinker ball gets a lot of ground balls. He's been touched up for 9 hits and 5 2/3, a 6.35 ERA. If you're the nervous sort, you might want to look away. He's very twitchy out there.
Foul strike on Soler.
Always tugging at his uniform.
Mott's a little bit like that too.
This goes with the job, right? That's a high adrenaline job. Relief roles, especially when you get late in the game or get into extra innings.
Strike 3 looking.
He's been seeing a lot of sliders lately, and you get the sense that he thought that's what they're going to come with in that sequence. 0 for 5 tonight for Jorge with 3 strikeouts. Going through a little bit of a rough patch.
Rondon, Brian Schlitter. Line shot. No catch by Hamilton. Rizzo around first. He's going to hold there. The Reds clubhouse will take a look to see if Hamilton caught it, and the look on his face would tell me no.
No protest. He's not making any demonstrative actions that would lead you to believe that he caught it, and he thinks he caught it.
Nope.
Good effort. It bounced.
Rizzo's got his third hit and on 4 out of 5 times, including a home run. Triple shy of the cycle in this one. His on-base percentage is 7 points shy of 500. And I don't think he was even off the bag. Spotto laughs when Badenhop made that throw.
Told you he was twitchy.
Bryant, strike one.
Badenhop, one of those rare guys. Even when he's up in the zone, he's able to get sinking action on the ball. But he's been up a fair bit here. Some of these offerings. He was to Soler. That's where he does his work down there. That's when he's at his best. Got away with it with Soler, and might not be as lucky with Bryant.
Badenhop 6'5", 210. At Bowling Green State University. He's from Ohio. He just went to high school in Harrisburg, born in Atlanta. Former Marlin, Ray, Brewer, Red Sox. Best year actually was last year, 70 appearances with Boston and a 229.
See those old red jerseys, and I keep envisioning Paul Householder's name around the back.
The 2-2 to Bryant. Into center, base hit. Rizzo to second.
That baseball was centered. 2 knocks plus a walk for Bryant tonight. Coming right back at you. Duck, look out, folks.
The 3 and 4 have combined for 5 hits and 2 walks. That's Rizzo and Bryant. Jonathan Herrera with his first plate appearance. Getting that one off Brian Pena, who needs a second. Right off the mask. He's in there for a strike. I've not seen Pedro Strop up in the Cubs bullpen tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Rondon, obviously, if the Cubs get the lead. And I think Schlitter is the option in a tie game versus Strop because of where the Reds are in the batting order. Down in the lower part of the batting order, and I think Joe's saving Strop just in case the lineup turns over again, and it's still tied, and you have to deal with the likes of Otto and company.
Oh, 2 on the way, buried in the dirt. Camden Yards, Red Sox beat the Orioles 7-5 tonight. Ortiz, Ramirez, Holt all hit home runs for the Red Sox. Alexi Ogando got the win in relief for Boston. Cleveland pounded the Tigers in Detroit 13-1. Shane Green went into that start with like a point something ERA. He gave up 8 runs in 4 innings. Ouch.
A regression to the mean.
Yeah, he had an 0.39 ERA. Now it's up to 3. Bounce to first, foul.
Well, there goes Pitcher of the Month award. Try again next month. Shoot for May. Brewers down to their last at bat, trailing the Cardinals 3-0. If they lose, they'll fall to 3-14. 2-9 in their home ballpark with a loss.
Marlins won their 3rd in a row, 3-2 over Washington. Martin Prado had the game-winning hit. RBI single in the 8th. Nationals are 7-10. Base hit right field. Rizzo around 3rd. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off by Votto. Throw to second. Everybody safe. 4-3.
Rub that head.
The little run producer, Jonathan Herrera.
He's at it again. Good for him. That's a hanging changeup. Badenhop just didn't. He's just not crisp. He's got to be down around the knees with everything. He's elevated a lot of pitches.
3 straight hits.
Good tight turn of the bag, going all the way, knowing they're going to throw that ball home.
They will intentionally walk Castro to get to David Ross, so they'll load the bases. So it'll be Rondon in the bottom of this 11th. Jason Mott becomes a pitcher of record.
David Ross is ready for this AB, man. He was walking towards home plate before Badenhop threw that 4th wide one.
Brian Price making that trip to the mound to talk some strategy. AT&T U-verse multi-view, bases loaded. The go-ahead run is in, courtesy Jonathan Herrera. Votto in, and that ball drilled the other way. Schumacher back on it, off the wall. 1 run is in. Here comes Herrera. That's a double for David Ross. 6-3.
A big smile for David Ross. That's why he was in a hurry to get to home plate. He knew something good was going to happen. 0 for 4 prior to that swing of the bat. He hit a ball out that way earlier in the ball game with authority. This time all the way to the wall. Just misses the grand slam. Again, the ball pretty flat from Badenhop. Not a lot on it. Am I late to the helmet rubbing thing?
I've never seen
I saw
it.
Herrera do it now. David did.
Strike called on Travis Wood. Up the middle, knocked down by Badenhop. And the throw will go to first as Cozart had to navigate around the broken end of that bat. So Wood will get an RBI as Castro scores, and it's now 7-3.
A nice play by Cozart with that shard of bat bouncing around out there.
Russell takes ball one. Cubs leading by 4. Have zoomed right past his save opportunity for Hector Rondon, but I think he's still going to get the ball.
See if the kid can redeem himself here. 0 for 4 with 4 punch outs. Caught looking the first 2 times, went down swinging in the last 2.
Just away. Driven to right, but Schumacher will make the catch. 4 runs here in the 11th. It's 7-3. Jonathan Herrera waiting Anthony Rizzo. Giving the Cubs the lead, and they would be able to add on. Leading now by 4 runs.
Breathing room and more for Rondon as he works the bottom of the 11th. Down near the bottom of the Reds batting order. Hector with the .225 ERA, 3 out of 4 in save opportunities. This, of course, is not one of those. But really good work by the bullpen here tonight. This might look familiar to Cub fans.
Very
Tom
cool.
Browning. Not on a rooftop, but up there in the pilot house, straightaway center field. Part of the 1990 reunion here from Reds World Series team.
Fastball at 95. And Marlon Byrd. So, left-handed pitcher, debuted in '84, went to Lemoyne.
Tommy? Yeah.
I was going to say it could be you.
Yeah, he's got. He won 20 games as a rookie in '85. Threw a perfect game.
On the ground to the second baseman, Russell. 1 away.
Browning must have a little condor or something and likes to perch at high places. The stadium ops people probably jerked him down from out there.
Hey, Tom, we've just committed 8 building violations.
Well, the hope here is that Rondon has a quick 1-2-3 inning, doesn't use many bullets, is fresh and ready to go tomorrow.
Back here tomorrow afternoon, Jake Arrieta, Anthony DeSclafani, and then Travis Wood, Jason Marquis on Sunday as Pena has to take the walk of shame.
Whoops. Little 3-0 Leo there. Rondon worked once in the Pittsburgh series a couple of days ago. He got his 3rd save in that 9-8 win. Threw just 13 pitches. He had a couple of days off prior to that one, so he should be well rested.
Bryant, foul territory, he's got it. Two down.
Quick peek to find the wall, good concentration.
Rondon to Cozart. Swing and a miss. $39,891 the paid crowd. Many have already left, but the Cub fans are standing 1-2. Pitch, swing and a miss. Cubs win 3-0 in extras. And no one-run game. This was a blowout. 7-3 the final.
Yeah, it felt like a one-run game, but a big explosion in the top half of the 11th, and they have an easy time of it in the bottom of the 11th. A lot of good things happening for the Cubs here tonight. Most importantly, John Lester with a solid start, struck out 10 in 6 innings and 5 shutout innings from the bullpen.
So that'll wrap it up from Cincinnati. Final score in 11. Cubs 7, Reds 3. We're back with you Monday night from beautiful Wrigley Field. Pirates and Cubs to open the homestand. Now for JD and our entire crew here in Cincy, Len Casper saying good night. Stay tuned. Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post game live is next.